do a quick broadcast on air to work with Nick Silver Efex Pro to make the image you see here. It's kind of fun to do, so I thought I'd share how I did it start to finish. So first off, I was in my Lightroom. Oh, little historical piece here. This is actually Billy the Kid's gravesite in New Mexico. It's way off the beaten path, but if you're driving down to Carlsbad or in that region, it's kind of a fun little detour. But as you can see, it's been fenced in because it's been looted quite a few times and moved around. So anyways, we'll pop in here to Lightroom and we can look at the images I was using. I did do an HDR because I guess you could probably get away with it in a single exposure, but I kind of wanted a very dramatic feel to it, so I chose to process it using Photomatics to create an HDR, and then finished it off and stylized it with Nick Silver Efex Pro, or Google Silver Efex Pro. So we're going to go ahead and grab our series of images, and if you want to see the last image I'm getting, I just look by the histogram. So that one might be too bright. So we don't have any shadow clipping, so we're going to start with the 0 exposure, go to that one, pop up here, File, Merge, plug in extras, merge, export to Photomatics Pro. There's a lot of different ways you can do that, but for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and do that and then re-import the finished one. So we're going to do that. Well, that's cooking away there. Hopefully that's not too loud out there. Looks like it might be a little hot on the mic, so I can either quiet down or try to turn it down real quick. So we will do mic input. Is that a little better? Yeah, that's probably better, so we'll leave it there. Okay, so here we go. Here's the HDR version of the image. Kind of groovy as is. You can hopefully see what my settings are there. Nothing super fancy. But enough to get some of this kind of dramatic detail out in the clouds and so forth. We're going to go ahead and save and re-import that. And that'll go right into the Lightroom library. And here it is. So then at this point we can develop in Lightroom. So we'll hit the develop module real quick and enable the profile correction. That's just an automatic adjustment for the lens I was shooting, the Nikon 14-24. That's good. We could straighten it out at this point if we wanted to by going up here, grabbing the straighten tool, drawing a line along something that's straight. That went the wrong way, didn't it? Let's see here, maybe this. No. Grab the straighten tool. Again, we'll go for a nice long line. Hopefully that'll work. Yeah, well, close enough for jazz, right? This is just a demo. You don't want to see me straighten stuff. So then we're going to go ahead and hit Photo, Edit in, and we're going to go to Silver Efex Pro 2. And we're going to edit it with our Lightroom adjustments, but we're going to edit a copy of it, so we'll have this one to refer back to. So there we go. Rightio. And we can expand that, grab our presets there, in the presets panel, and we got our other adjustments over here. Modern. These kind of full dynamic ranges ones are pretty groovy for a very dramatic effect. That's looking pretty good. And then to do some more detail work or fine tune a little bit, I'm going to bump up the structure a little bit, the contrast a little bit. Then I'm going to do a little toning. I do love this selenium tone. Cools it off, and this is obviously a very stark image, so kind of a colder effect is what I was looking for. So you could do a blue tone or something like that. The selenium is one of my favorites. And we can add this control point here. pop that on Billy's tombstone here. And to get a little more definition out of it, I'm going to go ahead and bump that structure up. There we go. So you can kind of read the headstone a little better. Maybe brighten it just a hair. And add a little contrast to it selectively here. There we go. Looking good. Then we can go down here into a vignette. Very dramatic light fall off there. There we go. And if we want to close this out and compare kind of where we started with our black and white conversion where we're at now, through a couple simple adjustments. Started off with like I think it's the full dynamic range harsh preset, added a vignette to it, added some structure to the tombstone, and then finally this cool little piece here. Nick's Silver Efex Pro 2 introduced selective colorization. Some of my photo buddies say that real friends don't let their other friends selectively colorize, but I disagree. I have fun with it. So, yay, right? Look at that. Still getting a little spill over here, so all we do is reduce its area of influence. Just like that. Sorry for the sound effects. Get a little Bob Ross on you here. Pop that right there. And you can add a couple of those if you want to really fine-tune it. And if you're looking at this loop here, you can see where it's getting placed specifically. But make sure you, I guess I could have copied and pasted it too, but then we can just up that selective colorization. Again, just fine-tune that so it's a little tighter on there. And here's where we can zoom in there, check it out. Right? It's not spilling over anything crazy. There we go. Looking good. Go ahead and save that and re-import it automatically into Lightroom. Oh, and hey, I'm using Mavericks right now on my iMac, and it's running just fine. So then we're back in here in Lightroom. You can go back into your Develop module, do cool things. One thing I like to do is sharpen a little bit. Even though we got some pretty heavy structure going on, we can pop in here and add some sharpening to it. There we go. There's the information about Billy the Kid. And then one thing I like to do is hold the Alt key down here with the masking, because I don't want like the clouds and everything else sharpened. And it basically just applies a mask, and you can adjust the mask of what you want sharpened. So that's looking pretty good right there. And open this baby up, and we are done. So there you have it. Little HDR effects. Or excuse me, Photomatics HDR Softs Photomatics, followed by a couple Lightroom adjustments, and to stylize it using Nick's Silver Efex Pro. Selective colorization, although some argue that you should selectively colorize. I think it's kind of fun. Anyways, hope you enjoyed that, and we will catch you back on another on-air hangout. I can figure out how to get out of this one.